So we have four brackets, beginning brackets on each side. Then we go into quarterfinals. Then we go to semifinals. Then we have the finals. It's 4 sets on each side. I'm trying to explain this because the people on the podcast are gonna be like, "Well, we can't see it." I'm sorry, you're gonna have to go to the YouTube. I'm sorry, but this is something that we just wanted to do. So we gonna go at it one at a time. And hopefully this don't take too long, but I'm sure E is gonna cause a lot of hoopla about these older games.
That's what I'm here for.
Of course. So, okay. So we starting on the left side. First 4 brackets, we're trying to get to the fighting game that's gonna take the championship of the Ultimate Fighting Game in the Super Hyper Turbo Alpha EX Plus Edition. So, starting with the first one, the best fighting game out of Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and Street
Marvel vs.
Fighter
Capcom 2. Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
I ain't even finished the question.
Move on. Just move on. Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
All
there's
right.
There's nobody here that's gonna vote for Street Fighter 2 over Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
I mean, I legit, oh my gosh. Like, see, they did this on purpose. They knew the first rounds, it was going to be super, super hard. I mean, if we talking about Street Fighter 2, come on, man. Street Fighter 2, I mean, people are still, you will see tournaments more of Street Fighter 2 than you will see of MVC 2 nowadays. I'm just being honest. But I'm going to go ahead and pass it to you, Mr. Gamer Lift. I'm going to let you answer before I do.
Man, I mean,
they wrong for this. Why had to be 2 Capcom games?
Bro, like, come on, man. When have you ever, if you take any given Marvel vs. Capcom 2 match and put it up against the Street Fighter 2 match, what match is more hype?
I mean, if there won't be no Marvel vs. Capcom 2, there won't no Street Fighter 2, man.
That's true.
Yeah, but
it's the grandfather of them all.
This game,
but it exists, and they're in a tournament. So
this game literally got me into fighting games. Like, this literally was the first fighting game ever that I played. Street Fighter 2.
It wasn't for me. I can't lie. Alpha 2 was my first fighting game.
Like Street
so
Fighter.
It ain't got that much nostalgia for me. I just respect it so much. I played Street Fighter 2 like randomly, like at my uncle house, and then I'd be like, don't nobody kill me for this, please. Please don't nobody kill me for this. I'd play it and I'd be like, all right, put Killer Instinct back in.
Exactly.
Like I like Killer Instinct more than I like Street Fighter 2, I'm gonna be honest.
Exactly.
I mean, it was a cooler game.
I feel like I'm gonna get shot at the next tournament.
And I like combos, so I definitely, I'm gonna just say MVC 2 because, like, that was like the versus games to me were just that to me was just like so amazing to see. Like Marvel vs. Capcom, X-Men versus Street Fighter, I was just blown away. So to get to the Sega Dreamcast and have like 11,000 100 million characters on the screen,
11,000,
and then 3v3. I'm talking about, just it was dope, man. So I'm hot to give it to MVC 2, man. That's gonna be my pick, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, man. Like,
nobody picking Street Fighter.
It's blasphemous no matter what you say to somebody. So, but I'm gonna have to go with. I'm gonna be honest, like the reverence for Street Fighter 2 is like is grandiose. Like it people really talk about it as like a game that grandfathered a lot of this stuff in. But when people talk about MVC 2, it's very reverent. It has a lot of reverence to it also. But the hype that comes behind it, like it's a different excitement when you talk about MVC 2, when you talk about Street Fighter 2.
Yeah.
So I guess we gonna have to, because we gonna have to agree on all this. We gonna have to do the concrete input output, which one we think. So I'm gonna go with MVC 2 also.
I told you, man, ain't nobody voting for Street Fighter 2 in that matchup. Like, are you kidding?
Man. So next we got the original Soul Calibur versus the original Smash Brothers. And I mean, straight off the top, I mean, I think I might have played the original Soul Calibur like a few times, like going back just to be like, let me just say I touched the game. But I definitely played Smash Brothers more. Uh, but I'll be honest, the original Smash Brothers was just like, I mean, it's a good game, but it ain't nothing nobody's just like, nowadays it just be like, hey, you get it ain't nothing much that nobody talks about nowadays. So I'm
Right.
gonna have to go with Soul Calibur.
You know what the funny thing is like when you were talking about how like you were back in the olden days where you'd be like, all right, Street Fighter 2 is like, yo, can we go back to Killer Instinct? Like that's how I felt like whenever it'd be like, all right, man, we're like, yo, you guys want to play like Super Smash Brothers? I'm like, which one? The first one. Nah, man, dude, just put Turok back in, dude.
Yeah, I mean the original Smash Brothers, you didn't even have all the different direction. I think Smash moves. Like you didn't have the up B, the 4B, the down B, and the neutral B. Like it was just a few moves.
I think you did.
Like
You did. Because like
in the original Mario, you had the uppercut, you had the fireball, and what else? Like if you was playing Mario on Nintendo 64, you had the uppercut, you had the fireball, and what else?
Wasn't the spin, right? Was the spin his down B?
In the original Smash Brothers, you was lacking on something. It was either the special moves or it was either the smashes, like the strong A moves. You was lacking in one of those. You didn't have all the variety like you did in other Smash Brothers. It was one of them. So I was trying to think. I think they did have the spin move for Mario. So I think it might have been. The Smash, but it was something that you was lacking in. Because I can remember going back and trying to play it on a Wii, and I was like, "Man, you can't do this," and it was like it was limited.
One of my questions about this is like, why did not that I don't like Soul Calibur, but why the first Soul Calibur? You know what I mean? Like, why the first? Like, you know what I mean?
I don't
like,
think nobody really talks about the first Soul Calibur like they would 2 or 3.
Yeah, right.
Y'all better put some respect on Soul Calibur 1 name right here, right now on the podcast.
I ain't disrespecting the Philly coach.
I was just saying, man, it game legendary, man.
I mean, hey, I'm taking it over the original Smash.
Like that
you
game.
Didn't say what you're taking, Devin.
Huh?
But I mean, we got 2 against. It's 2 against 1, so I guess it kind of don't matter what you're saying right now.
Soul Calibur all the way, man. Soul Calibur all the way, man. Like,
yeah, that's what I like
this
to hear.
game is legendary. Like, Soul Calibur put the dairy in legendary, right? So this game still looks good today. To this day, it's a Sega Dreamcast game, a launch title, if I'm not mistaken. Do you understand when my brother brought home Dreamcast with Soul Calibur 1, booted the game up, my eyes weren't even like ready to see what was on the TV. Like I couldn't even compute, like my eyeballs couldn't compute all the pixels and like all the megapixels and stuff on and all the polygons. That game is legendary. I'm talking about you go to the arcade, the home console version looked better than the arcade. I remember going to the arcade and playing the arcade version. I'm like, let's go home and play the game. Why am I play this? This look like garbage here. Just go home. But that's because it was like, I think it was like ran on PS1, some hardware like in the cabinets in the arcades.
Oh yeah.
So it was a difference. Like it was a clear difference. I was like, this game is. I mean, it had the weapons, the soundtrack, just the characters, man. Like Soul Calibur 1 was an experience, man. That's why it hurts me still that the Sega Dreamcast just didn't get the fair shake that it deserved, because it's such a legendary console with so many good games on it. And it's just like never before have we seen, I don't think, a game or system that much potential, that many games just failed. But I Soul Calibur, that's it. Smash Brothers was don't get me wrong. The first Smash Brothers, I played some Smash Brothers. When I first played that game, I was like, what is this? Samus?
You done Deacon Traps?
Nah. Samus? Link? But he can't Soul Calibur, that's it, man.
Bro, I want to go off on a tangent so bad, but we ain't got a lot of time. When because we used to, I remember my cousins used to come. I'm gonna go off on the tangent. I can remember my cousins used to come from Texas, and they used to bring their Dreamcast, and it was a game they used to put in all the time that I was just like, "What is this game?" I never knew anybody that knew the game, but the game was so fun. Then I got older and I saw people talking about it, and it was what's it called? Power Gym or Power Stone?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Bro, that game was so fun. And for years, I was like, I don't think nobody knows this game but me. But apparently everybody knew how flame the game was too. But so the Dreamcast was flame. But next we have Super Smash Brothers Melee versus Mortal Kombat X. Now I'm not gonna lie, I've heard so many people glorify Mortal Kombat X, but I'll be fair. With the NRS community, it seems like the best game was the last game because they always hate the current game. So maybe that might be what it is. I've heard people say that Mortal Kombat was a great game, and they wish that MK11 could be more like MKX, but just keep the beauty of MK11.
Yeah, man. It's almost like you should have put Ferritor in the game or something. I don't know.
All right.
But when we talking about Smash Brothers Melee, put some respect on it, Evan. Put some respect on the game. I'm taking Smash Brothers Melee. We not even finna sit here and act like Mortal Kombat X is touching anything that Smash Brothers Melee did for the scene. Stop it.
Are you kidding me? Yo,
what are you talking about?
Like once again, like we go have the situation where we gotta like sit here and like it's like what we paleontologists?
Ferritor, go on, get over it.
We paleontologists, like
go on, get over it.
These dusty games that we keep getting, people keep forcing. Like it's like come on, man. Like every year, man, bro. It's like, yo, man, is Melee gonna be an Evo? Why you still want Melee to be an Evo, dude?
Because it's a better game than a lot of these games they got out now.
Let it go. Let it go, dude. Let it go. It's like, what? Yo, that like, come on, man. That's the same argument you want to make for like what, Street Fighter 2? Come on, man. They're almost every other fighting game that's come out since Street Fighter 2 have been better than Street Fighter 2. Like that's just how it is. Why
do you realize how good of a game Melee was? Ever since Smash has tried to move on from Melee, even when Brawl came out, they made mods of it to try to make it seem more like Melee. When Smash Wii U came out, people was like, "I'm gonna just play Melee."
That's true.
When Ultimate came out, yes, people played Ultimate. But during that whole time, they was coming out with stuff like Slippy and all that other stuff because people still wanted to play Melee.
All right,
the game is legendary.
Okay, I'm gonna explain something to you guys real quick. Just because a majority of people are wrong doesn't mean you got to agree with them. You just wrong and you just standing on a hill by yourself. Yo, you know what? I'd rather be right than consistent. Okay, like real talk, man. Like I'm not interested in being like what? No, that's the like. I'd rather be consistent. Like I'm not like just because everybody's like, oh man, this game is so great. I'm like, yo, man, like
that's a clip right there, man. Oh, that's a new one.
like, oh my goodness. I'd rather be right than consistent. You know what? It was that was That was what's called that. You know who said that? A famous Supreme Court judge said that, and he was right. He was right. It's better to be right than consistent. Like I'd be like, oh man, yeah, man, we're all here together talking about how great Melee is. I'm like, man, come on, bro. Like, I haven't touched Melee in years. You know why? I'm too busy playing other games.
Devin, put this man out of his misery.
I'm too busy playing other video games. It's like the same thing when we talk about, like, oh man, people talk about hitbox being cheating and stuff like that, right? It's like, yo, man, hitbox is cheating. Why? Because, like, yo, we should all be playing like on stick still. I'm like, bro, why we always like conform to these dusty, musty things from like 20, 30 years ago? Like, oh man, man, make sure the graphics are better. Make sure put the frame data in the game. Make sure the characters all have voice acting. But we're going to use like the control scheme that we used from 1980. We're going to still use that. Yo,
Devin, go ahead and say Melee so we can move on.
Come on, man.
It still work, bro. Yeah, I'm going to say Melee, man. Like, I enjoyed MKX. MKX was also annoying because it was just a run up in your face and punch you marathon. But Melee, man, I mean, I literally did the Sonic thing, the April Fool's things. I played Melee a lot. Melee was just a fun game. I'm talking about when GameCube first came out, you buy that, you got a game that's gonna last you for a while. So I just gotta say Melee. I gotta say Melee, man.
So moving on before you blow up again. So we got Capcom versus SNK2. Do you know what? I ain't heard you speak blasphemy on Capcom versus SNK2. That's an older game you respect, right? We got Capcom versus SNK2 versus Tekken Tag Tournament 2.
Yeah, I'm honest. But you know what? I'm not gonna give away Capcom. I'm not gonna give away Tekken Tag Tournament 2 spot to Capcom versus SNK2.
Bro, we're not sitting here talking about your biasness of old games because people play them now. We talking about when the game came out, how good was it in its legacy up until now.
Once again, I'm not giving away Tekken Tag Tournament 2 spot to Capcom versus SNK2.
This man's so biased. You won't even.
Are you kidding me?
Go by the rules.
Bro, are you kidding me? Tekken Tag Tournament 2? This isn't even the first one. It's the second one. It's the second Tag Tournament 2. You're gonna tell me that objectively you think that in every way that what Capcom versus SNK2 was to take it out, freaking what's called Tekken Tag Tournament 2? That had all the characters in it. It had all the Tekken characters in it, bro. Come on.
Bro, Mortal Kombat Armageddon had all the Mortal Kombat characters in it. That don't mean this was a great game.
But guess what? We're not talking about that game, are we? We're talking about Tekken Tag Tournament 2.
Bro, we talking about when the game came out, when you played it, how iconic it was. We can't sit here. Of course, we can't sit here and compare Street Fighter 2 to Street Fighter 6 and talk about what's a better game overall. Of course, but we talking about at the time when you played it, what it did for the scene, how great it was to you. And its overall legacy, bro. You're not finna sit here and tell me no Capcom versus SNK2 was better than Tekken Tag Tournament 2. You're not finna do that.
Okay, yeah, exactly. You're not gonna say that Capcom versus SNK2 is better than Tekken Tag 2? You're right.
It is. What are you talking about?
What? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? Number one, let's not forget that what's called Snoop Dogg had a stage in the game. All right, dude. Let us remember that. It had.
Nobody care about no Snoop Dogg.
Are you kidding, dude? Yo, bro, I'm sorry. I apologize. On his behalf to everybody out there because that's just disgusting. For you to even say that.
Talking about fighting games. Nobody care about no Snoop Dogg.
Dude, okay, we're talking about the impact it had and how iconic it was when it came out. Yes or no?
Snoop Dogg will make
yes or no, sir?
Tournament 2 better than
yes or no, sir? Are we talking about how iconic it was? Yes or no?
Yo, this is. Oh man.
Devin, go ahead and put this man out of his. Are you serious?
I'm sorry. Like, once again, man, I'd rather be right than consistent, man, because that is. I mean, wow, that is a hot take.
Ain't no hot.
That is a hot take, man.
I mean, this was kind of hard for me because I didn't play Capcom versus SNK2 until like I was in college, so I don't have. I will say though, it was a game that I always used to look at and be like, "This game looks fire. I want to play it." Um,
Bro, Capcom versus SNK 2 is a game that was so groundbreaking that people today are wishing that Street Fighter would make systems like they had in Capcom versus SNK 2.
I mean, it was definitely and you know, Tekken. I played a lot of Tekken Tag too.
Yeah, me and you both.
I like the game, but I'll probably give it to CVS2 just because I like the look of the game. It's got all these characters. They have a lot of systems in the game. And like I said, it was just one of them games that was like, excuse me, but before I got to actually play it, it was just like, man, I got to play this game, man. Like this game just looks so fire. And I mean, it has a legacy of it. I went back and watched tournament footage of it. It was one of the first games that I saw like a lot of crazy high level gameplay and like seeing people use like these grooves in like just ridiculously absurd ways. So I'm gonna have to give it to CVS too, man.
Appreciate it. All right, so
When are we going to start making like decisions based on actual data and like actual value of games? Like, well, let me know when we get to that part of the conversation.
bro, you act like we like you look at it like let's compare a 2022 Honda Accord to a 1998 Honda Accord. Of course, it's gonna be a better car, but at the end of the day, when you had it, like it's a
Like I said,
okay. We
take
just
off
gonna
the
keep
nostalgia
going.
goggles. Take off the nostalgia goggles, man.
All right, so next we going on to the right side. We got Garl Mark of the Wolves versus the King of Fighters 98.
No, number one, I think it's unfair to have two SNK things just like the on the other side with Capcom against each other. But whatever, what are you gonna do? Garo Mark of Wolves, I would definitely vote for that over King of Fighters 98, even though it had a substantially smaller roster. But yeah, I would definitely say like Garo Mark of Wolves. Like if you've ever played Garo Mark of Wolves, you know why. Like characters like Kevin, freaking what's they had Terry Bogard. By the way, I think that is the coolest outfit Terry Bogard has ever had. The Wild Wolf outfit, that is a
Yeah,
cool
the
outfit.
jacket.
Like yeah, like just bar none. Like that is the coolest Terry Bogard outfit.
Yeah.
You had Rock Howard over there messing things up. You had you had Kim Kafwan's both of his sons in the game. And like Dong Wan, that character is cool, man. No matter what. Like he like just the way that he like fight, because it's like he doesn't practice and you can see it in the way that he fights, right? But he's good. He's good, but he doesn't practice. It's like he's really good, but he's unfocused. He's like, I like that they give him that kind of personality. I appreciated that they did that in the game. I mean, just in general, I mean, I liked King of Fighters 90, what's called 98. It's cool. It's a cool game. I enjoy it. I love it. But Garo Mark of Wolves, man, is such a this is such a unique game. Like I said, Terry Bogard's best look is in there. I mean, yeah, it's like plus you had like what is it? Andy Bogard, I think it was Andy Bogard's what you call his apprentice, the little ninja character guy. That character is cool, man. Like
Oh, okay.
yeah.
All right, just on you, Mr. Game a little.
Yeah, Garo, man. I think I played both of these. Again, these games I played later on in my life, probably like when I was well on either in my 20s or just in my 20s. But yeah, I got to give it to Garo. Always the art style was just always dope to me. The characters look cool. And it was basically like SNK's Third Strike. The super fluid animations, the game was cool, dope mechanics. Another game where I saw high level play and I was like, that's insane. Seeing Terry do like like burning knuckle loops and stuff. And they also have a character that's the character I played. His name was Butt, which I think was
Oh
like
yeah.
some
Yep.
translation or something. He was a cool character. So yeah, I'm
The
going to give it
hairstyle
to
looked good.
Garo Market Wolves and hoping that the remake is actually decent when they
Yeah.
bring it back out. So
Well, that's 2 out of 3, so it don't matter what I say.
Sure it
So
does.
we'll go on to the next one. We'll go to the next one. All right, so this next one, I feel like personally, whoever made this needs to be shaken until, just until times get better.
Jeez.
But
all right.
We got Third Strike, and yes, the Third Strike, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike versus the original Killer Instinct. Now, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, many people from well established brands like IGN all the way to, your favorite fighting game players like Justin Wong will tell you that Street Fighter Third Strike is the best fighting game that they've ever played. But I ain't them. So I'm gonna say we gotta go with Killer Instinct. Look, I could if I had 50 tongues, I don't think I could tell you how much fun I had with Killer Instinct. The original Killer Instinct was so fun back in the day, man. Like, you know how fun it was being a kid, not even really knowing what you're doing, but you could pick Cinder and just press random buttons and rub
Yeah.
your nose up against the controller, and you could get his face, you could get his special out. You know how cool it was to see Saberwolf bringing the bats from like the from the other realm, and they just come and like eat you to pieces and stuff like that. You know how fun and frustrating it was trying to go up against Idol and this dude just bull rush you like to death. Like I personally just had so much more fun with Killer Instinct than I had Street Fighter Third Strike. Not saying I never played it. I did play Third Strike, but I just had more fun playing Killer Instinct, and I hate that they made me choose this early. You should be ashamed of yourself, and I'm sure whatever guardian figure that you have in your life told you about yourself. So
Wow.
I'll leave it to you two for the decide what's next for you
Third
guys.
Strike. Third Strike. Real talk,
He
because
picked
like
he picked the old Street Fighter game, Devin. That's crazy.
I know, right? Like it's I would say Third Strike over Killer Instinct, because Third Strike in general, like I mean, once again, if we're sticking to like the whole thing about like how you felt when you played it the first time, like yeah, I liked Killer Instinct when I played it. I had a lot of fun. But Third Strike, the first time I played Third Strike was in like college, and I got to tell you, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought all the characters were cool. The music in that game is phenomenal. Like
Oh my
on
god.
every stage, Ibuki stage, Akuba stage, Sean stage, like
Oh, yeah.
um freaking Elena stage beats in my head, dude. That's the and of course the Jazzy NYC, like that's an iconic track. Everybody knows it. Everybody has that track playing in their head right now, just because I said it.
Right now.
Jazzy NYC, like right now. Like if you heard it, you know what I'm talking about. I don't even gotta hum the tune. You know why? You know it. It's in your head forever. So yeah, man. I mean, like let's be 100%. Like they had like some. I mean, they kind of messed over Sean in that game. I had to give him a pass on that. But like in general, the game is great. The characters are cool. They're quirky. I liked even characters that I didn't like when I started playing the game, like Remy. I didn't like Remy when I started playing the game, but he grew on me. Like I learned to like Remy. I learned to
He
like
done
Yun and
now.
Yang. Would you say?
Said Remy done now. I wouldn't want him back.
Oh geez.
Gal is good enough.
um let's see, like Yun and Yang, cool characters. Yang got a little bit like Yang was always considered, I think, a little bit not as good as Yun, but he was a cool character. Like they had a lot of really cool characters. The aesthetic was cool, the music was cool, the bonus stages were awesome. Like the what's called where Sean throws the balls at you and you gotta parry them. That's cool. Like just in general, like the game was a cool game that like I just wanted to keep playing. Like even when I lost, I remember one of the craziest matches I ever had was one of my buddies. He's the one who introduced me to it. His name, he goes by Chuck the Landslide. And we were playing. He was playing Akuma, and I was playing Sean. And we both went for supers at the same time, and we got a double KO on the final round, bro. And then it came down to judgment, and we both just stood there. I mean, when we got the double KO, we both just stood up at the same time. Like, oh! And then we had to sit there and wait for those three. You know how like the three chicks come out and they do the judgment call on turn around the signs to figure out who won. and we're like, I won, man, I won, baby. But bro, the tension, you could cut the tension with a knife, bro. It's moments like those that really make a good fighting game. So with that being said, man, I gotta say, man, third strike, bro. Third strike. Street Fighter 3 third strike.
Cap.
Oh, you mean your take? Yes.
Well, as much as good as Street Fighter Third Strike is, I'm gonna have to go ahead and choose Killer Instinct, man. Like that is all is kind of in the running. Ultimate Marvel 3 is like really probably my favorite fight game, but Killer Instinct is in the running, man.
Tell him, Devin.
Old school Killer Instinct on the Super Nintendo. It wasn't too many better fighting games to me than like Killer Instinct and the Ninja Turtle Tournament Fighter. Those two fighting games was like that was it, man. And then Killer Instinct Gold, bruh. I lost my mind when I played that. Like, I mean, even on the Game Boy, Killer Instinct on the Game Boy was kind of lit, man.
Combo was the truth.
I hated combo back then. It was all about that boy Jago, man.
Wow.
But yeah, Killer Instinct, man, and even the newest Killer Instinct is still a fire game. I didn't get into that until late, but it's still a fantastic game, fantastic music. That's the one thing, just the culmination. I think, and also it was different, and it just had a cool vibe. It was like MK, but not MK. It was like the competitor. It was like really the only kind of relevant competitor to MK. It was somewhat violent, not as violent, but he had like finishers and stuff, and basically a lot of the combos was like brutalities. So yeah, that game had a hold on me, man. Now again, Third Strike is a dope game, and again, another game I didn't play until way later. I didn't play Street Fighter 3. I didn't even play the first and second Street Fighter 3. I only played Third Strike, and the first time I played that was on the Street Fighter Anniversary Collection on PS2.
Same here.
But I always wanted to play. It's like looking at the game, it's like this game looks so good. Like I gotta play this. Looks so cool. I'd say it's not a good game, but Killer Instinct for me, gotta have it, man.
And then the thing about Killer Instinct was it's like it was the same, but it was so different from MK. Like it was really like it just really had its own unique style and stuff. Even though MK had its vast of characters, Killer Instinct characters were more, unique, their own individuals. I mean, Cinder, Glacius, Saberwolf, Skeletor, like just that game was so unique. It was so fun, and it even if people wanted to say like, man, this ain't nothing but another MK, like nah, like when you played it, it really had its own identity. It was its own thing. So the next one I feel like is just no competition. Dead or Alive 5 or Soul Calibur 2 is Soul Calibur 2. I ain't got to explain myself. So
I would definitely go with Soul Calibur 2. I liked Dead or Alive 5. I thought it was a fun game, but nah, man, not more fun than so I had way more hours in Soul Calibur 2 than I did in like Dead or Alive 5. Like me and my brothers would spend hours upon hours playing Soul Calibur 2. Like it's not even just the not even just like versus, like the man, what was the adventure mode called in that game? I can't even remember what it's called. I want to say
Weapon Master.
Yeah, dude, come on. And then you unlock all the weapons, and then you have like everybody's got a soul edge, and then everybody's got a soul caliber. So like the soul edge is kind of like it's good, but it has like a huge drawback. But then the soul caliber is basically like your ultimate weapon. Like that's like the weapon that has like the extra damage, the extra defense, and then your health regenerates over time and stuff like that. That was, man, Soul Calibur 2. And another, like, I tell you, for me, when it comes down to a game, when you're talking about how good a game is, you can't leave out the soundtrack. The soundtrack has to be in the conversation every single time. And they killed it. We're talking about the Namco sound team, dude. Like they 9 times out of 10, they hit it out of the park. Might even say 10 times out of 10 they hit it out of the park, because I can't
remember. The Soul Calibur soundtrack really immersed you in the game.
Yeah, and I mean they've kept that trend all the way up till now, and it's no different than playing like a Tekken game. Like all the Tekken games have good soundtracks. All the Soul Calibur games have good soundtracks. Like I mean it's it's amazing. The characters are cool, and you know one thing that I always really enjoyed about Soul Calibur over Tekken, and this is kind of a side note, but the characters in that game always very vocal. They always have something to say, and it's like you know what they look like, but what's their personality like? They're conveying what kind of character, what kind of personality they have during the match. So you know that Astaroth is like a big brawler who just wants you to just wants to break you in half the whole match. You got like a character like Shanghua who's kind of like this playful kind of person, but she's got a serious streak. She's got a serious thing to her, but she's got the playful side too. You got Kilik, who's like, all about like balance, but also about atonement, and about like the whole thing about discipline. What did he say? You'll never stand a chance without dedication. Like that's Kilik. That's the character we know and love. But it's not just through like the intro and outro quotes. It's through the fight itself, like the quotes the characters have during the match that really get you involved, get you invested in the character. So that being said, man, I got Soul Calibur 2. Now, Dead or Alive 5 does have Lisa in it, La Mariposa, like that, and that is a cool character. Also, they did have Rig, and Rig is a cool character in Dead or Alive 5. If you haven't played that game, go check it out. But I'm sorry, man. Like I whenever I think, just look this matchup, man. Soul Calibur 2 does it for me.
Yeah, I don't really know. There's got to be somebody that's a fan of that game because, I mean, that's not even like a clear matchup. Like if you just said Soul Calibur 2 and like Tekken 5,
Yeah.
or like even I even give you Virtua Fighter 4, but Dead or Alive 5, like
Really?
to me honestly, the best DOA games were like 1 through 3, or like maybe 1 through 4. 2 for me was 1. I first, played DOA 2 on Dreamcast, blown away. Still one of my favorite fighting games. Like DOA 2 was crazy. I mean, again, like I feel like that game almost looked better than Soul Calibur 1. Like the visuals were insane, but Soul Calibur 2, man, like it was too good of a game. I think it was the first game to do um guest characters, if I'm not mistaken. I can't think of any other game before that. Well, no. Let me take it back. Tekken 3, but to do it to the level that Soul Calibur 2 did, it was like the first time like these very recognizable mainstay guest characters. Like they had the little with Gone. What's his name? What's his name? Gone? The little dinosaur in Tekken 3?
Yep, that's his name.
I just thought about his got the same name as one of my favorite anime's protagonists, Gone.
Talking about Hunter x Hunter?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he was a guest character. But I mean Link in a fighting game was a dream come true for me. I was like, that's all I need, bro. I don't need to play the PlayStation version. I don't need to play the Xbox version. Give me the game. Now, with that being said, the GameCube was not the best thing to play Soul Calibur with. But hey, you gotta take your losses, man. Soul Calibur 2 visuals, sound, like y'all said, man, a legendary game.
All right, next we got Mortal Kombat 2 and Tekken 3. Who you going with?
Tekken 3.
It looked like Devin finna say Tekken 3 already, so we can move on to the next one.
I mean, it's another one that's kind of hard for me, man. But because the MK2 had a big impact on me, but it's as much memories I have of Tekken 3, I gotta say Tekken 3.
All right, so we're on to our quarterfinals. Long time coming, but we made it. So we got MVC2 versus the original Soul Calibur. Then I'm saying MVC2.
MVC2.
Yeah, I'm gonna say MVC2.
Yeah.
All right, so we got Super Smash Brothers Melee versus Capcom versus SNK2, which it has me boiling hot. So I'm gonna just let y'all go. I'm gonna just
Capcom versus
bow
SNK.
out and just have mercy on myself.
Capcom versus SNK2. I will definitely put that over Super Smash Brothers Melee. I'm sorry. Like, I mean, if we're 100%, like it's just I mean, compared to, I'm going to put it this way: compared to Tekken Tag 2, I will vote for Tekken Tag 2 over Capcom versus SNK 2. Not because I don't like the game, just because like to me, Tekken Tag Tournament 2 was just a fantastic game. But like versus like Smash Brothers Melee, I'm sorry, man. Like there's something to be said, man, like about just generally speaking, the amount of hype that just comes from having like Capcom and SNK characters in the same video game. The fact that they coexist in the game together at all is ridiculous. Like that, it's absolutely ridiculous. Number one. Then of course, number two, the fact that you have them on teams, you know, fighting on teams, even better. I mean, and let's not forget, the game looks better than Super Smash Brothers Melee. It just does. It just looks. It's a better looking game. The sprites look crisp.
Morgan.
Bro, we'll talk. Like the sprites look crisp in that game. Like Yun looks cool as all get out. Ryuji Yamazaki looks really great in that game. Like the way that they smoothed everybody over to make them look like they fit in the game instead of just ripping sprites from other games and being like, here they are. Like they could have done that. They did it in Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And I'm, you know what? I thought it would have been hilarious if they did it in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. But anyway, like they actually put the effort in. They put in the work to make sure that the game, like the sprites all matched up with each other, that everybody looked good. Everybody looks good in that game. And then, of course, you have some of the most ridiculous final bosses. Shin Akuma, Omega Rugal. Like, come on. Those guys are ridiculous. Like, I mean, and let's be honest. And of course, SNK boss syndrome is in full effect here, man. It's in full effect. Now that is both I would say that that's both a good and a bad trait, because on the good trait, you're kind of like, when you win, you know you earned it. But when you lose, you know you were cheated. So like, but even with all that, and of course, going back, the music, bro, real love making. This is true love making. This is true love making. This is true love making. Dude, come on. You know the tracks, you know. You know. I don't gotta tell you. I don't know. I gotta tell you guys. You know. Capcom versus SK2, please.
Well, Devin, the pastor drives a hard sermon. So are you gonna agree or disagree with the words you just heard?
I mean, I think back on it, it's actually, this is kind of hard because on one hand, Smash Brothers wasn't even meant to be a fighting game and have an impact that it did, and it turned into that. But on the other hand,
a beautiful accident.
CVS2 had a legacy in like arcades and like that whole era, and still like a super popular game today. But I played the heck out of Smash Brothers Melee, so I gotta go with Melee, man.
Bro, y'all gonna make me do the tiebreaker? Come on,
that's right.
Oh, all right. Both of these games have an enormous legacy in the FGC, and I feel like me having to choose between these two. I'm gonna wake up in the morning, I'm gonna get a call from the big boss man of the FGC, and he gonna say, "Turn in your card and delete your TVFGC page," and I'm gonna have to be like, "Okay, boss." But
All right.
when we talk about the legacy of both of these games, I mean, both of these games are yet still here. We just had an Evo tournament, and both of these games were there. Wait, Melee wasn't there because Nintendo said bump y'all, so no, Nintendo wasn't there. But both of these games still continue to strive. When we talk about a love for a community that just seems like it won't die. Melee describes that. But when we talk about a game that's just been, striving just as much, continuing on today, talking about CVS2. When we talk about games that I played the most, I played CVS2 until the PlayStation stopped working. So And then I've Smash Brothers is the series that I've spent the most time in. So for me, this is like choosing between like your favorite puppy and your favorite cat. So man, I'm Devin, you sure you don't want to say CVS too?
Man, Smash Brothers, bro.
And I'm gonna have to go with God, I'm gonna have to I'm oh man. I'm just because I played one more than the other, man. And the fun times I had with it, and I'm sure if I don't say this, Dr. B gonna call me and say he want to run my fade. So I'm gonna just say, oh, I'm gonna have to say CVS too, man. It hurts, but I'm gonna have to say CVS too, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to the next one.
What it is, man.
Bro, that was hard, man. I ain't made too many hard decisions like that in life. Next we got Guard Mark of the Wolves versus Killer Instinct. Killer Instinct.
Gar Michael Wolves.
Nah, it's your turn.
I'm about to say KI.
Well, dang, it was that easy, huh? All right, so we got Soul Calibur 2 versus Tekken 3.
Soul Calibur 2.
You okay, Devin? These people were demonic who made this list, man. They know what they were doing. This is horrible. This is horrible. You getting final matchup choices in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, basically.
I mean,
oh man,
I'm gonna have to say Tekken 3 because what that game did, what Soul Calibur did for me on Dreamcast, same thing Tekken 3 did for me on PS2, on PS1. That was like the second three. That's probably one of three first 3D fighting games I think I ever played. I'm pretty sure. And the jump from Tekken 2 to Tekken 3 was so wild, and I just was blown away. And then Tekken Force Mode, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have to say Tekken 3 first. I mean, at this point, I just got to pick some at this point. I mean,
well, I could have saved you the speech because I'm gonna say Soul Calibur 2. So on.
All right.
So this is the this is the matchup that's gonna be super hard. But we got MVC2
Oh yeah.
versus CVS2.
Oh.
And this is semifinals, bro. Woo! Devin, we gonna let you go first.
MVC2, man.
Dang, he made it too easy. All right, he is on you.
Marvel vs. Capcom 2, man. The reason why. Go
ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Nah, I need more time to cry
Okay.
on the inside. So go ahead.
Well, the reason why I picked Marvel vs. Capcom 2 over CV, like Capcom vs. SNK 2 is a phenomenal game, but Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is kind of like it's almost like a cult phenomenon. It's like a FGC phenomenon. Like like it was something that kind of came in, and even now still kind of has people in a chokehold. I mean, the the problem is that Marvel vs. Capcom, I feel like, has had more chances, unfortunately, as a franchise than Capcom. The Capcom versus SNK franchise has, which is a tragedy. It's a straight tragedy. But you gotta let's go back to let's stick to the basic facts here about just in general, the combos. The combos that you can do in CVS2 are cool. But man, the combos that you can do in Marvel vs. Capcom 2 are ridiculous. Like, like you have assists, you got the switch in, like, you know what I mean? Like having your guys just jump in there and beat the crap out of somebody else. And then, of course, you know, it's like it's 3v3, man. So, I mean, the hype when like you get like somebody in like this a situation where you do like a 3-person like super on them and they know they're dead. Like it's just, I don't know, dude. Like there's something about that. Just having all 3 of your characters jump on screen at the same time and they all do like a Kamehameha wave or something, like the father son Kamehameha, and just cover the whole screen. And you got like Strider Hero, he's got like animals, like robot animals, like coming off the side of the screen, and then you got like what's called like War Machine, he's like firing thing, and then you got like Cable with his big head, it's like you know, and then you just see your health bar like you got no health anymore, bro. Like just because you made a miscalculation, bro, and all 3, the whole crew came out to dead you, bro. Like it's Marvel vs. Capcom 2, man. Plus the music is good. The music is good. It's real good.
I'm just hearing like CVS 2's character select screen music just crying out to me just to pick it, like just in my head, like don't let me down, bro. You can't say it. But I just gotta be honest, man. Like when we talking about fighting games that hit the FGC like a brick for how good they were and what they did for the scene, I mean, there's really only 2 games you can name that was just like 2 games you can name that was just like culture changing. We talking about MVC2, because I mean, even the NBA making graphics about MVC2. Then you got Street Fighter 4. It saved the genre. I mean, I mean, as much as I love CVS 2, and I probably have to run the Galaxy Beast Fade after this, man. I'm gonna just have to go ahead and zip CVS 2 on up and hit it with that 3-0 and get it up out of here, bro. Like I gotta say MVC 2, man. I just got to. Oh, so okay, so we got KI versus Soul Calibur 2.
Soul Calibur 2.
Soul Calibur 2.
Yeah, I say Soul Calibur 2.
There's no way on God's green earth that Killer Instinct is beating Soul Calibur 2. I'm sorry. That's not a thing.
I mean, it could.
No.
But you know, I can't say it.
Yeah, you know? Exactly. It's like, and the only opinions that matter right now are the 3 people that are in this call right now. All right. So yeah, and we all agreed.
Bro, I literally feel sick that I had to choose between Melee and CVS 2. Like I literally feel ill.
No, I don't.
This was harder than I thought it'd be. All right, so now we've reached the grand finals. It's MVC 2 versus Soul Calibur 2. Let's settle this. So, once again, here I go making a decision that makes me feel ill on the inside. Soul Calibur 2, let me just go ahead. I just go ahead and paint the picture. Soul Calibur 2, I can remember I was in a room growing up in a trailer. The room seemed like it was smaller than our bathroom. I'd wake up on the top bunk, wake up, open my eyes, breathe fresh air, and the first thing I would do, even before I went to the restroom, I'd hit the cut on the PlayStation.
Nothing.
and I'm playing Soul Calibur 2. The first thing on my mind, it ain't no thank you, Lord, for another day. It ain't no, man, I'm hungry. It ain't no, man, I gotta go pee. I wake up, cut on the game, and I'm up in the story mode of Soul Calibur 2. I gotta be honest with you, man. Like, I didn't play MVC much. MVC was a game that it was just too much going on. I tried to get in. I tried to play it. I die immediately. I couldn't handle it. But Soul Calibur 2, man, I'm telling you, with Raphael, I know these gentlemen here, got bad taste and they don't like Raphael. But I'm telling you, man, as soon as I wake up, BB, grab the controller, and I'm back up in the game. It'd be 1:00 before my mama would come in there and be like, "Have you eaten?" No, I ain't eaten. You know I ain't ate. I'm playing Soul Calibur 2 every weekend on the clock. You know what it is. No, I hadn't ate.
To know that you haven't eaten.
Bro,
Like,
that's
if you
funny.
wouldn't have came in here, you do this every week. You know I ain't ate. I done played the game. I'm playing Soul Calibur. I ate Destiny in the game, bro.
Oh
I'm
my
picking
gosh.
Soul Calibur 2. I'm picking Soul Calibur 2.
So I gotta like so for Soul Calibur 2, when I was
Remember,
when I was younger,
I'm telling you.
Soul Calibur 2, man, like that was that man. So the first exposure I had to Soul Calibur 2 was like when I was in high school, I was on the wrestling team, right? And like, after I would go and I slam somebody a couple times and like make them regret their choice, make them regret even joining the team in the first place. After I was done beating the crap out of them, we would always have like we would bring a TV and a console. We would bring like the PS2, or no, we didn't bring we had a GameCube. We brought a GameCube, and on that GameCube was Soul Calibur 2. And because everybody wanted to play as Link, everybody was like, "No, I don't care." But I liked Heihachi. I had the PS2 version, but like I said, I'd rather be right than consistent, right? So, like, anyway, people would play with we would play Soul Calibur 2 between matches, especially at like a meet where you have like multiple matches and stuff. It was either Soul Calibur 2 or Dragon Ball Z Budokai. So it was one of those games, and most of the time it was Soul Calibur 2. But
oh no,
when I was in high school during my freshman year, no, I might be my sophomore year, my parents, they got us a PlayStation 2. And one of the games they got us was Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
don't do this,
I'm sorry. When we were kids, what we did, there were 3 chairs in front of a TV with a table on it. Well, on a table with the PlayStation 2. Next to it was a mini fridge. That mini fridge had no food in it. All it had in it was 3 jugs of water. That's all we did. We didn't eat. We didn't eat. We didn't eat. We fed off of the combos, the snack combos from Marvel vs. Capcom 2. We would play that game all day. All day we would play Marvel vs. Capcom 2 from dusk. I'm sorry, man. From dusk till dawn, from dawn till dusk, bro. That's all we did. We'll play Marvel vs. Capcom 2. It was so crazy. Marvel vs. Capcom 2, let me tell you how revered that game was in this household. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was so revered. My dad played it with us. My dad played Marvel vs. Capcom 2 with us. And he would win. And then when we weren't home, my uncle came to visit. I came home from school early because, we were doing final exams. I come upstairs, I hear the game on. Nobody else is home except for me. Like, what's going on? My dad's playing the game with my uncle. My dad and my uncle are playing the game while we're not even there. They don't even care. They're like, bro, whatever, man. We're going to play the game. Like, I remember my dad specifically being like, yo, man, I was scratching him up with Wolverine, bro. Like, I was scratching him up. And I was like, oh, man, like they're playing the game without us? Basically, what I'm trying to say, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 reached, that was a game that my dad kicked me off of playing Final Fantasy X for. I was playing Final Fantasy X, and he kicked me off of Final Fantasy X so we could play Marvel vs. Capcom 2. That's how big of a deal that game was in this household. With that being said, I love Soul Calibur 2, but I got to give it to Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I'm sorry.
So he says Soul Calibur 2. What do you pick, Devin?
Well, I'd be wrong to sit here and say that when I say my favorite game, fighting game, is probably Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and not to pick the game that started it, his predecessor, MVC 2. Uh, I mean, it was a game, man. All the character select screen was overwhelming. It was just I was literally a kid at the time, but it was like a kid in a candy shop, man.
Bro, it
Just
ain't
looking at
nothing but a
all the
bunch of
characters,
squares in a circle, man. That's all it
you
is.
know, all the characters on the screens. Like I
That's
got
all it is, bro.
Wolverine,
It's just squares in a
got two versions of Wolverine. I got Cyclops. I got you know Dan, Ken, Ryu, Sakura, Akuma Trail, Akuma Rexon.
bro. They had Taki in the game, bro.
Like I mean, I don't know, man. It just it's a rare
They
it's a
had Key
highly
or the Weapon Master mess, bro.
it's a highly respected game for a reason, man. And just my brother got me into it. I love combos. Combos is one of the things I love about like fighting games. The reason why I do combo videos. So I mean, combos in that game, like playing against my brother, just then seeing like actual high level like footage as like this is how this game is played. Like it just blew my mind. Like when I first saw high level MVC2, I was just like, bro, what is happening? Watching seeing footage of Yipes and just like this is what I knew Magneto was broken, but he this good? Like MVC2 is just it's a goat, man. SC2 is fire as well, man. But if I had to pick two out of this one, man, it's 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 basically the godfather of my favorite art type of game, man. I love team-based games. I love games with assists. I love games where you can do creative combos and be creative as you want to be. And that's MVC2, man.
Well, it seemed like we reached the end of it, and it's hard to say, but MVC 2-1, which I can't say it don't deserve, but it's just I don't. It's not too many games I'm picking over Soul Calibur 2.
No, I
If
mean,
you told me to pick between Soul Calibur 2 and Alpha 3, I'd probably just unplug the computer. But yeah, man. So it's a game that deserves it. Was there any game that y'all personal would pick over CBS 2? Not CBS 2, MVC 2.
I mean, Marvel 3, but I mean that's the same game technically.
hmm. Uh, I don't know, man. I mean, off the top, I can't. I
This
really
man,
can't think of
he
any.
went against Astaroth, bro. I can't believe it.
Now MK3, now I ain't gonna lie, Ultimate MK3 and MK Trilogy, and that one it's up there for me.
Like I said, dude. Like Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was a phenomenon here in my house. Like it's like it reached that kind of level that no other fighting game before or after ever achieved. Like my dad played like Mortal Kombat 2 with us a little bit, but I mean that was like for like the first like week that we got it. He didn't play it like that. But after that, but I'm talking about him playing the game without us. There's something to be said about that, man. Like to have your dad come and be like in the middle of a boss fight, be like, all right, we're gonna play Marvel vs. Capcom 2. You need to hurry up. Like, let's go, hurry up. Like it's time. It's time for Marvel vs. Capcom 2. You've been on here too long. You've been on what, an hour? Yeah, an hour too long. Get off. Like, you know what I mean? And like we would sit there, man, all day, eat nothing. We would eat nothing. Like I said, combos, the official snack of the FGC combos. That's all we would eat. It's just combos. And then we would drink water. And that's it, dude. Like that's it. Bro, we had blisters on our thumbs. We had the blisters on our thumbs from hitting the D-pad. That's how much we played that game. Like it was, dude, it was a new age, man. It was a new age of heroes.
Yeah, I think Alpha 3 and Soul Calibur 2 would probably be the only games I'd pick over CBS 2. Not really. I just want to say CBS 2. MVC 2. I think those would be the only ones. As much as I play CBS 2, I don't think I could give it over MVC 2. But Alpha 3 and Soul Calibur 2?
Now that's another one. I'm not gonna lie, Alpha 3.
Yeah. Maybe.
That one, I might could put that one over MVC 2, man.
Yeah, because
I
MVC
ain't
2 didn't have
gonna
any.
lie about it, man. That game right there, boy.
Yeah.
Boy. Yeah, that game, man. Then the soundtrack with it, then the world tour.
Oh my God, the World Tour and Alpha 3. Oh man. Yo, that was so great. Oh, the dramatic battle where you can play with more than one person. Oh man. Oh, the dramatic battles. How could I forget about that?